Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to our weekly program, Money Matters, right here on WinFM. We have this program every single Wednesday. And it is a literacy program with our coach, our financial coach, Mr. Tally Francis. And he's not actually in studio with us today. He is via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Francis.
Good morning, Sharon. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Are you hearing me as well?
Oh, yes, loud and very clear as well. Good morning to you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
All right. Everything going good so far?
Yeah, pretty good. Not bad at all. I mean, we preparing today to speak a little bit about what was it we said? We'll chat today about how to save money on car repairs.
Yes, because we're dealing with cars and purchasing a car and how you could, possibly save that way. So we're going to be talking about how to save money on car repairs because if you have a car, repairs will be needed.
That's right. Sharon, we got a question during the week past about budgeting. Someone who looked at one of the older episodes asked whether they were in a position that needed a budget, whether they should have a budget. Is a budget really necessary? And perhaps before we go into the car matters, we could just spend a moment on that. What do you think?
Sure, no problem.
Yeah, so just a very quickly and simple answer would be, because the question was whether, how do you know that I need a budget? And if I came to you, how would you be able to determine whether I should be using a budget or not? And the question came from the fact, I could feel it in the way it is written in the comment, that it is not something that we like to do, you see? So that was a question. Do we really need a budget in order to be successful, in order to really handle the money? And just to be simple, I would say you have two different, we could put two different people into two different groups who would ask such a question. You have people who naturally, they tend to save a lot and they spend a little. The other group would be persons who spend a lot and they tend to save a little. If you're in the category where you tend to watch your money and you save a lot and you spend a little, when I say a little here, I don't mean that you hardly spend. It means that you take more care of how you're spending. Then for you, perhaps, general budgeting, just general watching your money will help you improve. But if you are on the side that you really tend to spend a lot and you're not really sure how your money is being handled, how you're taking care of your business, you find that you broke from time to time, then you may actually need to try to get some of the Money Matters tips that we give to help you with the budget, So this question arose from the 50-30-20 discussion we had, you remember?
Yes.
And so I would say the idea is not to frighten people into thinking that if you don't use a budget, you're really
completely
succeed.
Lost. Yeah.
No, it's not true. But it depends on your status and your state in money life, money handling life. So I would say, situate yourself, you take a snapshot of your own personality, your own personal spending habits and so on. And if you have habits that drive you down to half of the month and you don't know where the money went and so on, then it would really be helpful that you try and use what we call a little spending plan, and eventually you can work that into a budget. And as we say, if you use one of these big rules like the 50-30-20, all you do, you just group where the money will go, take care of your needs before you take care of your wants and your desires and so on, and make sure you have some money, you are paying off your debts and so on, but make sure you have some money provisions for emergencies and so on. So that's that's what you would do. But if you are already on the way, then we are not really saying that you should go to some great lengths. The budget is a tool, as we repeat, and the spending plan is something to help us. It's not something to really starve us or to stifle us or to give us additional work at all. As we say, planning is important because you know where the money is going before it goes where it wants. And so that's the idea. So I say put yourself in that category, situate yourself properly, and it will always be beneficial. It will always benefit you more if you use a spending plan or a budget than if you don't. And if you don't, and you are in the people who spend and don't have much control, then this is really the time. My answer would be yes, you need to start using the plan using a budget. Yeah. Okay,
All
so
right.
that was on the first, yes, that was on that, just enter.
All right. So I hope if anybody else actually had those thoughts listening to the program, it also helped them as well.
Yes, sure.
All right. So, what we're gonna be discussing today, we alluded to it earlier, is how to save money on car repairs. No, last week we talked about actually buying the car. Now we're talking about the repair aspect of it, and can we actually save a little here and a little there? So, because once you have a car, you depend on it, to get you wherever you need to go. So, car repairs is a necessary expense. Yes.
Yes, yes, I would say yes. In fact, based on how we really use the car most of the time and the reasons why we have the car, when we don't have it, it becomes, something that you miss, something that you can't do without. So I would say yes, you'd put car repairs into the category of needs and so on. Now, when the car repairs call on you, you may not always be in a
Call on me. I
position
like
to
that.
you may not always be in a position to handle it. Now, there are some people who can't even handle, say, like a $300 or $400 car emergency. So we go back to the older episode where we spoke about how you put aside the money. And so the emergency fund is an important one. If you already have, say, $600 or $1,000 somewhere, then it will be easier for you to handle a car repair call on you. It's something you can have an emergency fund, so you could take care of the car emergency when it comes, and to the extent that it comes, then it's a smaller one and not really a major disaster, a major insurance coverage thing. So that's to say that, you want to be able to handle these things without having to borrow money or to go and, find somebody to, to
A
lend
friend
you.
to lend me a little something.
Yes, yes, yes. And in order to avoid that, we go back to the importance of planning when you get your income, plan when you have money by putting aside a certain amount for emergency. If you have that in place, then a car repair that just dropping on you would not be as difficult and as stressful as if you don't have it. And if you don't have it, then it is stressful and it becomes one of the things. But it's a necessity in that sense, yes.
Okay, but having a car though, especially when it all of a sudden it was driving properly, everything was all good, and then no, it's like, oh, okay, what's happening? It's really inconvenient, right? Because you didn't anticipate it, and you just want to fix it and move on. Honestly.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, car breakdown could be, as you say, you use the word inconvenient. You could also use the word annoying. It could be quite annoying.
It is annoying to, yes.
And it's also embarrassing. It could be very embarrassing, for some people that your car, break down at X or Y time, even at X or Y location and point. And it could be even more embarrassing when the reason why the car broke down has to do with how you treated the car. So yeah, it's a problem in that sense. Annoying. It's just embarrassing at times. If for example you were not taking care of your car, you're not servicing it and so on, and it broke down. It might be something. The way you drive could be. So, but you want to take it as something that could happen just about any time. In truth, the good news is that there are some ways in which we could save on car repair expenses if we use some of the Money Matters tips that we give, and also if you put some old-fashioned elbow grease into the thing.
I mean, yeah, because you'll be driving along and then everything seems fine until you start hearing a funny noise, and then you go and you get it checked, and then the price of the repairs sometimes, whoo, it really sets you back. So I guess the question is then, how do you save money on repairs?
Right, and I mean it's correct to be skeptical about that, because we often hear it said that when you buy a car, as long as you're using the car on the road, it is depreciating, is going down in value. Even the body's wear and tear, become evident as you go into the years. So I mean, speaking about cars, yes, problems would arise, and they arise if you do not prepare for them
in advance?
Yes, in advance, by treating the car right. And even when you do that, some big problems could still come up and want you to do some repairs on it. So I mean, what you want to do is to be in a position where you have a budget somewhere to take care of the payment to the repair shop when it comes up. And you also want to make sure that at least, even if you don't have a budget, you have been preparing the car in such a way that the frequency with which it would break down would be few and far between.
Okay. So break it all the way down for us. How can we save money on repairs?
Right. So talking money now and talking the cars and the money versus cars, money versus car use. So there is one word, warranty, which I always like to bring to the fore. Now, vehicles come with warranty, and the warranty on your car, sometimes a lot of us, we don't even know it. So we need to take the car to the dealership and make sure we understand what the warranty is if we bought it secondhand. If we bought it firsthand, you need to have your warranty paper and know what that covers. And sometimes what happens is that people who are accustomed to just go into the regular mechanics will just go back there and pay for car repairs just in the normal course of business. But warranty is something that covers certain repairs that the car may need. And so if you know your warranty, what your warranty covers, that's one of the ways in which you save on car repairs, because it means that you are conscious about it. And so when X or Y thing happens, you take your car there to the dealer so that the warranty will cover you. Now, commonly you have what is called bumper to bumper warranty, right? That covers everything, well, except the bumpers. Always called bumper to bumper. That type of warranty don't even cover the bumper, but that's the what do you call it, the car language. And so you have that, and that covers all the possibilities you could have of having to repair. There's another type of warranty called the powertrain warranty. When you read the book, you see the warranty book says it's powertrain. It means that it's taking care of everything, covering the parts that are listed in the warranty book, like your engine, what they call the drivetrain, the transmission. There are warranties that cover this, and for significant amount of years as well. And warranties could last for like 3 years. The way it goes, like 3 years or 50,000 miles or kilometers. The 7 years or 100,000, 10 years or 100,000, and so on. And I think, like in the case of if you have a Hyundai, right, the Hyundai, Hyundai is different pronunciation. Yeah, they have 3 year or 50,000, 7 year or 100,000. And so those warranties, they do cover quite a number of things, I'll give you an example. I used to operate a car, drive a car, which was a Toyota Camry. And once sometimes the headlamps on your car could go foggy.
Mm-hmm.
So over time, that headlamp went foggy. So for a couple of weeks, I find night driving, something wrong, check the high beam, check the low beam, and so on. Anyway, it was that the thing got cloudy, and so the light is hardly coming out. So brighter. So I took that to the shop, thinking of just buying a headlamp and so on, and realized from the dealer, and that's what Toyota Camry realized from the dealer, that this was under warranty. So it took a couple of weeks to actually get, because they had to submit the claim and then get the item. Actually, they didn't have it in stock, but if they had it in stock, they could have just put it in and then claim after. But they had to get it. So that's an example. Who would have thought that your headlamp, by the glass getting musty and cloudy over time, would be something that you don't have to buy a new one. So if you're not checking your warranty, and to be honest with you, on that occasion, I didn't check it. It's just that I brought it to the dealer, and the dealer to change it, because I wasn't finding that headlamp part anyway. And the dealer said, boy, this thing is under warranty,
See, and you didn't even know, and it's a good thing he brought it up.
I didn't even know. So that's why a tip here this morning is that make sure you know what your warranty book says that it covers. And if it so happens that you actually need to repair that thing or replace that part on your car, you could actually have it covered. You pay nothing for it because it's under warranty. So that's an example.
So I'm assuming then that the warranty, the way to save on that is for the original car owners. Is it also available for like a second and a third hand person who
right.
owns the vehicle?
Yes. Boy, that's a smart, bright question there.
Well, I had to ask.
Yes, because that's another tip as well. Sometimes we purchase a car, say second hand, even third hand. Maybe the car is 3 years old, 5 years old. Some warranties on certain items go up to 7 years or 100,000 kilometers, 100,000 miles. And you don't realize it. Now, It is correct. Warranties are attached to the car. Each vehicle has a thing called the vehicle identification number, the VIN number. So when you're looking for parts, one of the things your mechanic would try and figure out, you will look and see where the VIN number is, because you have to submit that to get a part, or put it on your computer, you get the right part and so. So the warranty is attached to VIN number. So even though I bought the car from you and I'm the third owner, if I got it with a book, I just look in the book and I know what's covered still, and I'm still entitled to it back with the dealership. Or if you can't give me it because you do whatever you have to do, or hurricane sweep away your manual, for example, so you don't have it to give me when I buy it. I take it to the dealer, and the dealer will be able to tell me what is covered or not. So that's an important thing.
Oh.
Warranty goes with the vehicle. It doesn't go with the name of the person who owns it now.
Okay.
And yes. So you can benefit even as a second-hand owner.
Okay. Any next tip?
So if you have no warranty, let's see what could happen. So if your car is not under warranty, it means that you can't benefit from that. So in that case, what is usually helpful to start with is to take it to an independent mechanic. But not just anyone you find just down the road. It's good to take a little research. Ask your family and your friends, those who had vehicles similar to what you have before, and find out who is the best service provider in town, who's the best mechanic in town, so that you take it to that garage. Now, if you don't have warranty, again, that's something that you cannot now go back to the dealership for. You have to determine between using an independent mechanic shop and using a dealership. Now, what happens is that in reality, we're not trying to take away bread from the dealer's mouth, but we're speaking about savings money here on car repairs. And what you find is that the independent shops, the side shops, the entrepreneurs and so on, they tend to have cheaper prices on certain repairs than the dealership. And of course, the reason is that the dealership is a whole big company, much more overheads, many more staff members and all that sort of thing. And whereas the dealer, can give you lower rates because he has lower overheads, they operate the business, different types of hours. Convenience is also there so you can save by bringing your car, say on the weekend, that guy will work on it on Sundays, a dealership will not. And meanwhile, you get the same vehicle to go back to work on Monday. So another important tip, if you don't have warranty, is to try to use independent mechanics and see how best you can get from reputable, based on the track record, garages your repairs done. You can save a lot by doing that.
And I like how you said reputable. Not just anybody. You need to go and ask around people who've actually used the service of the mechanic. Make sure that, yes, you get your car back in a timely fashion. You didn't have to go back to him because something was wrong and he just fixed it, that kind of thing. Make sure that who you choose is a good choice.
Yes, correct. Because, in the first case, right, you would probably pay, you would probably get nothing if you don't have warranty by going to the dealership. So the next thing you look to see, you want to go to an independent, but you want to be sure you're on the right street, let's say that, or in the right industrial section of the industrial estate, because you don't want to go and get shafted, or you don't want to go and get shabby work either. So you want to be sure, or if you decide you want to go by a startup mechanic, it should be you making the choice. It shouldn't be that the dollar is making a choice because you're too broke to go to the best service. So I would say, yes, you want to do that as well. Now, Sean, many of us, like me and so on, I care about my status and so on. So I would like to go by the big name shops and so. But if I also care about my pocket, I would be careful, that I don't go and be charged what I am not bound to be charged if I am having like a 6 or 7-year-old vehicle, or even a 3-year-old vehicle, no warranty on what I want done. I don't want to do transmission, so it's not that complicated. So, I want to have that kind of thought pattern in my mind. So I am telling my money and putting it where not, a starter should be, but really where I could afford at the time.
All right. So that's two big ones. Do you have any more that you'd like to share?
Yes. Now, in the question of cars, you have repairs that you have to do because they crop up on you. And you also have planned repairs that you will have to do. Scheduled, the mechanic or the dealership would have scheduled when they would happen. what you would want to do is to help save is to try and combine your repairs. So you try and do those services and repairs that could be done at the same time. You do them at the same time. Now, this is because the car repair bills usually have two parts in it, two components. The labor, where all the expertise and you pay the guy to do what you gotta do, and also the parts. In fact, in some cases where things so bad and so business tight, you have the cars, you have the parts, and you have what they call space rental or storage, you know. When business real good, the mechanics say, well, no, if you're going to leave that overnight, it's going to be an additional $30 or $8 per hour or something like that. But anyway, main part of the bill would be your part and your labor. So imagine if you are in there to do one thing, and then you bring it back next week to do another thing, your bill will also have labor in it next week. Whereas if you did everything at the same time, then you can get it for a cheaper price. The mechanic could actually show in a little discount for you right there. So if you know you have to change your brake, for example, in the next, your brake pads in the next.
Hello?
Hello? Yes, are you hearing
okay.
me?
No, I'm hearing you. Yes, there was a weirdly
Yes.
weird noise. And okay, we're back. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, if you have to do two things at the same time or even three things, and you could actually wait a few weeks before you do the repair that you need at this time, because that's in a few weeks you're going to do your regular servicing, then you could do everything at the same time. That will tend to reduce. So I would say combine or bundle, do as many of the things that you need to do on the car. Try do them at the same time, probably at the same shop, preferably at the same shop, in order to be able to get it cheaper and to have a discount as well.
Okay, I don't think the brake one was a good example though, because if you have a problem with your brake, yeah, that needs to be checked out right now. But for something like maybe the light, as you were indicating earlier, that the light wasn't as bright as it could be, I think that one you could
Yes.
maybe hold off on that one until you have to do your checkup. I would say,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, you're quite right. Now, I have to tell you that this program is really informed by informal interviews I've done with mechanics and things too, you know. And you're
Okay.
kind of sounding like one of them, huh?
Hey, break. If nothing else, I know brakes. Yeah, brakes are very serious. Very, very serious. Oh, having a problem again, Mr. Francis. Hello.
Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, not
Are you,
sure. I'm hearing you. No.
you hear me now? Okay. So maybe I'm making too many movements around
So
here.
I guess I don't know. I'm not sure.
This boy can't sit quiet and talk. I mean, you gotta move the hand, move the mic. All right. So yeah, what I was saying is you're quite right. You know, there are some things like your brakes, your time and belt, and those sort of things. However, that tend to be able to be scheduled. So you want to be sure that you're scheduling with your servicing when you're changing. The oil change is also schedulable, that sort of thing. But you're quite right. When a thing crops up, if it's a problem that affects safety, you want to do that as immediately as possible. If not, and it can wait, then you want to bundle it with the other things that you would want to do.
Okay, and there's also that other option if you know what you're doing, fixing it yourself. That's if you know what you're doing. Notice I said if. You see how many times I'm saying if.
If you know what you're doing, fix it yourself. Well, I want to tell you something about fix it yourself, right? It might surprise you in truth to know that there are quite a lot of simple car repair things that don't need any big set of mechanic or engineering skill and knowledge to treat with. And if you know in truth, you do it. And if you have a decent toolkit, that's another thing. Right? Some of us, we travel to, St. Martin, United States, we go into this, and we don't think about that. But if you have a nice toolkit, and if you have a little know-how, you can save a lot of money. Things like, for example, changing the bulb in your car headlights, or even your tail lamp, your tail light. If changing those bulbs, or if you realize that your indicator bulb's not working or light's not working, even things like as simple as that. And some people are a little more sophisticated, they could, some guys can change a spark plug themselves, So you want to do those sort of things for yourself that saves money so that you can actually get your way into having money that you don't give somebody else to do the thing that you could actually do on your own.
Yeah,
So you're
because
quite right.
having the vehicle, just suddenly throw you a loop in terms of having to do some sort of repair, something's wrong with it. It really most of these things you don't even really think about,
Yes.
as an option. You just want to fix it and move on as quickly as possible.
Yes, yeah. And I mean that's understandable, because I mean, you're talking about vehicle that if you are accustomed to using it, it's a very difficult for a guy who drives himself to work, a lady who drives herself to collect the kids and so on, to another day just go take a bus, And of course, if you're taking a taxi, I mean that will shock
That
you
adds
so
up.
much because
Yeah,
you're not
that adds
accustomed to
up.
doing that, Yeah, but but you want to, the things that you can do for yourself, you want to make sure that that you can save costs. The high end or the very complicated things you take to the mechanic. I mean, there are some persons, however, who wouldn't even go under the lid. They might not even know how below that bonnet looks. You need the bonnet to be some place that they see only over the mechanic's shoulder. But there are things that you could perhaps do in there that you can learn to do for yourself. Yeah.
Oh, something is going on your end, I'm assuming, with the microphone. You started going down and then it got really scratchy a little while ago. It's gone now,
Yes.
but I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds like
Yes.
it's good. And seeing as though we're running a little for time, what about an older car? Any savings you could maybe do with repairs for an older car?
Well, an older car, it's places where you get
Sorry,
you're
Mr.
able to.
Francis, there's some sort of feedback now. It sounds feedback-ish.
Okay. So what I think we can do, we have, if you hear me now?
I'm hearing you, but again, there's some sort of feedback. So it's not really an echo, but something is happening.
Okay. All
I
right.
can still hear you, so you could probably finish your point.
Yeah, I try to take down some volume here, but I believe it might be in my makeup studio.
Oh, no, you're gone. Oh,
Yes.
okay, no, you're back. Sorry. I could hear you say something. No, you're gone. Can't hear you at all now. Oh, and we were just getting to the. Oh. Are you hearing me? Yeah. Oh boy. Technology happen. It happens every now and again with technology. Yeah, I'm not hearing you at all. I see your lips moving, but unfortunately, I can't hear a thing. Ah, that's unfortunate because I wanted to actually tackle that part with the older vehicle. But what I can, and I hope you're still hearing me, what I can do is probably save that question for next week. I'm not sure what we're going to be touching on next week, but we'll definitely have to cover that particular area because, we're at that point now where we have to close off the program. But we'll tackle that next week. And then we will definitely be back with you here. And as our listeners, that is, we'll be back with you to continue that particular conversation and then pick up once again with what we will be discussing next week. Thank you again, Mr. I hope you can still hear me. Thank you again, Mr. Francis, for joining me this morning, although we did get, cut off a little bit toward the end. But be sure to tune in next week, listeners, for another episode of Money Matters right here on Win FM. It comes to you every Wednesday morning at 10:15 until 10:45.